Judges chapter 3. The Lord left some nations in the land. He left them to test the Israelites who hadn't lived through any of the wars in Canaan. He wanted to teach the men in Israel who had never been in battle before. He wanted them to learn how to fight, so he left the 5 rulers of the Philistines. He left the people of Canaan and the people of Sidon. He left the Hivites living in the Lebanon mountains. They lived in the area between Mount Bar, Hermon, and Lebo-Hamath. The Lord left those nations where they were to test the Israelites. He wanted to see whether they would obey his commands. He had given those commands through Moses to their people of long ago. So the Israelites lived among the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. They married the daughters of those people. They gave their own daughters to the sons of those people, and they served the gods of those people. The Israelites did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. They forgot the Lord their God. They served gods that were named Bar. They also served female gods that were named Asherah. So the Lord was very angry with Israel. He handed them over to the power of Cushan-Rishathaim, the king of Aram Naharaim. For 8 years, Israel was under his rule. They cried out to the Lord. Then he provided someone to save them. The man's name was Oneal, the son of Kenaz. He was Caleb's younger brother. The Spirit of the Lord came on Oneal, so he became Israel's leader. He went where the Lord handed over to him Cushan-Rishathaim, the king of Aram. Oneal won the battle over him, so the land was at peace for 40 years. Then Oneal, the son of Kenaz, died. Again, the Israelites did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, so the Lord gave Eglon power over Israel. Eglon was the king of Moab. He got the Ammonites and Amalekites to join him. All of them came and attacked Israel. They captured Jericho. Jericho was also known as the city of palm trees. For 18 years, the Israelites were under the lord of Eglon, the king of Moab. Again, the Israelites cried out to the Lord. Then he provided someone to save them. The man's name was Ehud, the son of Gera. Ehud was left-handed. He was from the tribe of Benjamin. The Israelites sent Ehud to Eglon, the king of Moab. They sent him to give the king what he required them to bring him. Ehud had made a sword that had 2 edges. It was about 1.5 feet long. He tied to his right leg under his clothes. Eglon, the king of Moab, was a very fat man. Ehud gave him the gift he had brought. After that, Ehud sent away those who had carried it. When he came to the place where some statues of God stood near Gilgal, Ehud went back to Eglon. He said, "Your Majesty, I have a secret message for you." The king said to his attendants, "Leave us," and all his attendants left him. Then Ehud approached him. King Eglon was sitting alone in the upstairs room of his palace. Ehud said, "I have a message from God for you." So the king got up from his seat. Then Ehud reached out his left hand. He pulled out the sword tied to his right leg. He stuck it into the king's stomach. Even the handle sank in after the blade. Eglon sank and fell to the floor. Ehud didn't pull out the sword, and the fat closed over it. Ehud went out to the porch. He shut the doors of the upstairs room behind him. Then he locked them. After he had gone, the servant came. They found the doors of the upstairs room locked. They said, "Eglon must be going to the toilet in the inside room of the palace." They waited for a long time. They waited so long, they became worried. But the king still didn't open the door of the room. So they took a key and unlocked them. Then there they saw their king. He had fallen to the floor and was dead. While Eglon's servant had been waiting, Ehud had gotten away. He passed by the statues of gods and escaped to Seirah. And there in the hill country of Ephraim, he blew a trumpet. Then he led Israel down from the hills. "Follow me," Ehud ordered. "The Lord has handed your enemy Moab over to you." So they followed him down. They took over the only places where people could go across the Jordan River to get to Moab. They didn't let anyone go across. At that time, they struck down about 10,000 men of Moab. All those men were strong and powerful, but not even one escaped. That day, Moab was brought under the rule of Israel, so that the land was at peace for 80 years. After Ehud, Shamgar became the next leader. He was the son of Anath. Shamgar struck down 600 Philistines with a large pointed stick used to drive oxen. He too saved Israel. Judges chapter 4, after Ehud died, the Israelites once again did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. So the Lord handed them over to the power of Jabin. He was a king in Canaan. He ruled in Hazor. The commander of his army was Sisera. He lived in Harosheth Hagoyim. Jabin used 900 chariots that had some iron parts. He treated the Israelites very badly for 20 years, so they cried out to the Lord for help. Deborah was a prophet. She was the wife of Lapidoth. She was leading Israel at that time. Under the palm tree of Deborah, she served the people as their judge. That place was between Ramah and Bethel in the hill country of Ephraim. The Israelites went up to her there. They came to have her decide cases for them. She settled matters between them. Deborah sent for Barak. He was the son of Abinoam. Barak was from Kadesh in the land of Naphtali. Deborah said to Barak, "The Lord, the God of Israel, is giving you a command." He says, "Go, take 10,000 men from the tribes of Naphtali and Zebulun with you, then lead them up to Mountain Tabor. I will lead Sisera into a trap. He is the commander of Zabin's army. I will bring him, his chariots and his troops to the Kishon River. There I will hand him over to you." Barak said to her, "If you go with me, I will go. But if you don't go with me, I won't go." "All right," Deborah said, "I will go with you. But because of the way you are doing this, you won't receive any honor. Instead, the Lord will hand Sisera over to a woman." So Deborah went to Kadesh with Barak. There he sent for men from Zebulun and Naphtali, and 10,000 men followed him into battle. Deborah also went with him. Abel the Kenite had left the other Kenites. They came from the family line of Hobab. He was the brother-in-law of Moses. Abel set up his tent by the large tree in Zananim near Kadesh. Sisera was told that Barak, the son of Abinoam, had gone up to Mountain Tabor. So Sisera gathered together his 900 chariots that had some iron parts. He also gathered together all his men. He brought them from Harosheth Hagoyim to the Kishon River. Then Deborah said to Barak, "Go, today the Lord will hand Sisera over to you. Hasn't the Lord gone ahead of you?" So Barak went down Mountain Tabor. His 10,000 men followed him. As Barak's men marched out, the Lord drove Sisera away from the field of battle. The Lord scattered all of Sisera's chariots. Barak's men struck down Sisera's army with their swords. Sisera got down from his chariot. He ran away on foot. Barak chased Sisera's chariots and army. Barak chased them all the way to Harosheth Hagoyim. All of Sisera's troops were killed by swords. Not even one was left. But Sisera ran away on foot. He ran to the tent of Jael. She was the wife of Abel the Kenite. Sisera ran there because there was a treaty between Abel's family and Jabin, the king of Hazor. Jael went out to meet Sisera. "Come in, sir," she said. "Come right in. Don't be afraid." So he entered her tent. Then he covered him with a blanket. "I'm thirsty," he said. "Please give me some water." So Jael opened a bottle of milk. The bottle was made out of animal skin. She gave him a drink of milk. Then she covered him up again. Stand in the doorway of the tent. He told her, "Someone might come by and ask you, 'Is anyone in there?' If that happens, say no." But Abel's wife Jael picked up a tender stake and a hammer. She went quietly over to Sisera. He was lying there, fast asleep. He was very tired. She dropped the stake through his head right into the ground, so he died. Just then Barak came by because he was chasing Sisera. Jael went out to meet him. "Come right in," she said. "I will show you the man you are looking for." So he went in with her. Sisera was lying there with the stake through his hand. He was dead. On that day, God brought Jabin under Israel's control. He was a king in Canaan. Israel's power grew stronger and stronger against King Jabin. The Israelites became so strong that they destroyed him.